Hello everyone, welcome to the Tim Booker channel. Wishing you an enjoyable listening experience. Today, the book we'll be discussing is Happiness. Everyone seeks a happy life. What does a happy life look like in your eyes? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section. The 18th century British thinker Robert Owen once said, "All human efforts are aimed at obtaining happiness." Perhaps, for each individual, there is nothing more important than happiness. But what is happiness? Is it living a comfortable life with enough to eat and wear, or is it having a high income and status, reaching the pinnacle of one's life? Does happiness depend on material possessions, or is inner fulfillment and peace the highest standard of happiness? If someone feels unhappy, what can they do to find happiness? From a psychological perspective, everyone has the capacity to find happiness, provided they understand happiness correctly and employ effective methods to build and protect it. French renowned psychologist Christophe André, after years of clinical work, discovered that patients suffering from various emotional issues, including depression and anxiety, often share a common trait: a lack of happiness and an inability to find effective ways to attain it. André is a doctor at the Saint-Anne Hospital in Paris and a best-selling author, known for his works on pervasive personality traits, appropriate self-esteem, and our inherent emotional responses, among other topics. In this book, The Secrets of a Happy Life, which spans nearly 200,000 words and comprises 8 chapters, André reveals the secrets to finding happiness. From defining happiness, understanding its specific experiences, to providing detailed analysis and practical advice on how to construct a happy life. On Amazon, readers have given this book numerous 5-star reviews, claiming it has been immensely helpful in their pursuit of happiness. The book's profound reflections on happiness have also made a significant impact on readers. Next, I will present the main content of this book in 3 parts. Part 1, What is happiness? Part 2, Why do many people lack a sense of happiness? Part 3, How to build a happy life. Before pursuing happiness, one should first understand what happiness truly is. This is the focus of the first part we'll discuss today. Throughout history, many philosophers have attempted to define happiness. For example, most ancient Greek and Roman philosophers believed that happiness was noble, a form of virtue. In the 18th century, thinkers argued that happiness was a fundamental right for everyone. For instance, French philosopher Rousseau believed that happiness was being close to one's true self. However, in the 19th century and beyond, elite intellectuals like Wilde, Nietzsche, and Kierkegaard took a critical stance on happiness. They tended to believe that happiness was elusive and that sorrow or contemplation held greater nobility. While there's no universal definition of happiness, we can outline its contours through feelings of contentment, enjoyment, and joy. Satisfaction sometimes resembles happiness, like when a baby smiles after a satisfying meal. However, happiness isn't merely the fulfillment of desires, it can also involve transcending desires, as seen in Buddhist teachings advocating simplicity and contentment. Enjoyment includes the gratification of basic desires, such as delicious food, physical activity, or leisure. These experiences allow us to fully enjoy the wonders of life. Yet, indulgence in sensual pleasures can lead to hedonism, which doesn't equate to happiness since repeated sensory pleasures can lead to fatigue and disappointment. Happiness often comes from within and is more enduring and profound. It's not solely reliant on external factors. Since satisfaction, enjoyment, and joy don't equate to true happiness, what is it? The author of this book suggests that complete happiness consists of 3 dimensions: the biological dimension, the psychological dimension, and the sociological dimension. Biological happiness involves meeting basic needs like sustenance, security, familial bonds, and intimate relationships. Psychological happiness is about self-actualization, having basic self-esteem, and being able to do what one desires. Sociological happiness involves caring for others and doing good deeds, which allow one's worth to be recognized in society. Balancing these 3 dimensions is the key to true happiness, as leaning too much towards one can create an imbalance in life. For instance, overemphasizing the biological dimension may lead to indulgent sensory satisfaction, making one shallow. Overemphasizing the psychological dimension may lead to selfish individualism. Overemphasizing the sociological dimension may lead to moral dilemmas. Happiness doesn't have a standard appearance, it comes in different styles, primarily for 1. active happiness, which arises from group activities, a sense of belonging, and social interactions. 2. Achievement-based happiness, stemming from accomplishing goals and objectives, both material and spiritual. 3. Control-based happiness, often found in solitary activities that allow deep self-focus, like experiencing flow. 4. Tranquil happiness, derived from distancing oneself from the world's troubles and finding peace and contentment. People with different personalities tend to favor different happiness styles. The author believes that experiencing these 4 happiness styles alternately in one's life can lead to a profoundly fulfilling and beautiful experience of happiness. Exclusively pursuing any one style can lead to unhappiness. In essence, happiness is like a balanced diet, requiring various nutrients. Many people either struggle to find happiness or wander off the path to happiness, ultimately lacking a sense of fulfillment. Moving on to the second part, let's discuss why many people lack a sense of happiness. The reasons for people's lack of happiness can be summarized in 2 points. The first point is due to incorrect views on happiness. Some individuals, upon glimpsing happiness, immediately fear its fleeting nature. They worry that happiness will disappear soon and, to prevent this, they choose to distance themselves from happiness. Others hold a superstition that revealing their happiness will invite misfortune. For example, consider Ellie, who avoids displaying joy whenever she experiences happiness. When she bought a beautiful new house and her friend congratulated her, Ellie felt awkward and anxious. She feared that acknowledging her happiness would cause it to vanish. Another erroneous view is becoming accustomed to an unhappy life and believing that unhappiness defines them. Olga is an example of someone who is immersed in unhappiness. After a breakup with her boyfriend, she felt sad but also relieved, as it meant she didn't have to deal with emotional troubles. Lacking happiness can also be attributed to easily being enveloped by various negative emotions. Here, we mainly discuss 3 negative emotions: sadness, anxiety, and pessimism. 1. Sadness. Those prone to sadness dwell in a prolonged state of low spirits, making it difficult for them to experience happiness. They see the world through a lens of melancholy, making it hard to find joy in life. 2. Anxiety. Anxious individuals tend to magnify external dangers or difficulties, leading to perpetual tension. They live in constant fear of potential problems, hindering their ability to appreciate life's beauty. 3. Pessimism. Pessimism involves always expecting the worst outcome. Pessimists believe that finding a lost wallet means it's gone forever or that a late date will result in a permanent absence. Pessimism keeps people from enjoying positive moments and magnifies life's difficulties. These negative emotions can create a barrier to happiness, preventing people from seeing the beauty in life and accumulating a burden of worries. It's crucial to address these emotions because, like physical pain, they should not be endured excessively. Just as physical pain signals a problem, emotional pain should be managed appropriately. Lastly, how can one attain a happy life when facing these challenges? Next is the third part, where we discuss the efforts required to build a happy life in 3 aspects. The first aspect is cultivating psychological abilities for happiness, which can be summarized as self-love, independence, and a balanced sense of control. Self-love means having a healthy self-esteem and accepting one's imperfections. It involves actively working on personal growth, recognizing one's strengths, and offering self-affirmation and praise instead of constant self-criticism. Self-love also entails being a friend to oneself, providing encouragement and support during difficult times. A person who truly loves themselves can maintain harmonious relationships with both themselves and others, which is essential for a fulfilling life. Independence here primarily refers to psychological independence. It means not letting external opinions or changing life circumstances negatively affect one's mindset. For example, some parents, once their children grow up and move out, may lose their sense of purpose and happiness. True happiness stems from within, not solely from external factors like family or achievements. Balanced control is the third psychological ability needed for happiness. It involves the ability to navigate daily life as well as major life decisions while maintaining a sense of control. Those with a strong sense of control tend to have higher resilience, emotional stability, and, consequently, a greater capacity for happiness. However, it's essential for this control to be moderate, as excessive control can lead to anxiety and hinder happiness. The second effort in building a happy life is changing thought patterns that foster negative emotions. This includes exaggerating risks. some individuals tend to magnify risks, leading to anxiety. Effective coping involves objectively analyzing uncertainties and systematically considering various solutions. Pursuing perfection, striving for perfection can also breed negative emotions. Accepting that nothing and no one is entirely perfect can lead to a more content and happy life. Pessimistic thinking often makes life seem gray and full of suffering. Encouraging pessimistic individuals to recognize the limitations of their negative judgments and adopt a more positive outlook can lead to increased happiness. In summary, cultivating psychological abilities such as self-love, independence, and balanced control, while changing thought patterns that encourage negative emotions, are essential steps towards achieving happiness. In addition to cultivating psychological abilities for happiness and managing negative emotions, the third effort in building a happy life involves overcoming 3 barriers. The first barrier arises from nostalgia for past joyful moments. Let's listen to Lisa's story. For Lisa, happiness only existed in her childhood memories. Since growing up, those moments of happiness seemed to vanish. Even though Lisa's current life was decent, whenever she saw children playing in the garden, all she could think of was how far she was from her own childhood. This made her feel sad and prevented her from appreciating the happiness in the present. Such feelings can worsen after significant losses, like when someone loses a loved one. It's important to recognize that excessive nostalgia and sadness can hinder the ability to create new happiness. Instead of dwelling on the past, it's better to focus on building happiness in the present. For instance, retirees can enjoy family life or pursue hobbies they didn't have time for previously. Seeing children enjoy their childhood should be an opportunity to engage and create cherished moments. The second barrier comes from comparing one's happiness to that of others. Montesquieu once said that it's relatively easy to be happy if you only want happiness, but it's nearly impossible to be happier than others. People often believe that others are happier, leading to unnecessary comparisons. This mentality can lead to unhealthy jealousy and make it difficult to find happiness. To avoid jealousy, it's important to acknowledge it and seek constructive ways to address it. For example, if someone has a bigger house, rather than feeling envious, one can focus on achieving their goals, like saving for a house, or improving their current living space. Using rational analysis to deconstruct jealousy can help maintain a happier outlook. The third barrier arises from the gap between dreams and reality. Achieving happiness often requires effort, either in terms of material or psychological growth. Fantasizing about ideal happiness is easier than the practical steps needed to attain it. Some people may become complacent, thinking that happiness is unattainable in their current lives. The advice here is not to dwell on idealized happiness but to work diligently in the present. Happiness will come naturally as a result of these efforts. Additionally, if someone is overly absorbed in their idealized happiness, they may overlook the happiness in their current reality. It's essential to stay grounded and appreciate the present moments. In conclusion, to attain happiness, one should cultivate self-love, independence, and a balanced sense of control while also improving thought patterns, avoiding comparisons, and focusing on the present. Everyone's path to happiness is unique, but cherishing everyday moments and maintaining a sense of gratitude is key. As the 16th-century French philosopher Montaigne once said, the sole end of life is to live, and be happy. Each person's happiness is valid, and with practical guidance, they can construct their own path to a fulfilling life. Congratulations on completing this book. Your confidence in achieving a happy life should now be stronger. Thank you for listening to Tim Booker Channel. Please subscribe to our channel, like, and share this valuable knowledge with your friends. Let's combine wisdom and action to achieve our financial goals and create a brighter future. Thank you all, and goodbye.